This week in Syria, the northern border town of Kobani was engaged in fierce fighting against advancing Islamic State forces. The 3-week struggle continues between the town's mostly Kurdish population and Islamic State militants. Despite the violence, Turkey and other international organizations have failed to help. US-led airstrikes in the region have also failed to halt the group's advance. Thousands of people marched in Mexico City on Wednesday, demanding justice in the case of the 43 students still missing in Guerrero State. The students were taken after 6 of their group were killed by police at the end of September. Corrupt police are being blamed for the kidnapping, and the military has taken over the town. teleSUR's Clayton Kahn has more from Mexico City.
In cities across Mexico, thousands marched to demand justice for the students of Ayotzinapa who were attacked in the town of Iguala on September 26 by police as they were collecting funds for their school. In the nation's capital, family of the missing say that their grief will not deter them from finding their loved ones and demand justice from the authorities. While the authorities have thus far tried to downplay the attack as being local and isolated, many argue it is the most recent example of a systemic problem. Incidents of extrajudicial killings and violations of human rights by Mexico's security forces have been a pattern ever since the country unleashed its so-called war on drugs in 2006. For the thousands participating in this march, it is not just an expression of anger and rage for the case of Iguala, but it also represents years of struggle towards state-sponsored violence. Clayton Kahn, teleSUR, Mexico City.
In the Ukraine, fighting once again has centered around the airport in the self-proclaimed People's Republic of Donetsk. Separatist fighters still claim to control the city in their struggle for independence from Kiev. Despite the ceasefire agreed upon at the beginning of September, the UN has reported that at least 10 people have died every day since then. Figures put the total death toll of the conflict over 3,600.
A full investigation into the links between Colombian Senator Alvaro Uribe and the illegal wiretapping of the country's peace process may have drawn closer with the announcement that the Senate's Intelligence Committee will call on the Ministry of Defense to provide information on the case. Since the scandal exploded during presidential elections earlier this year, calls have been widespread for an official probe into the ex-president's role. But for Ramiro Bejarano, a lawyer and former intelligence chief, the Intelligence Committee's efforts will only lead to the same inaction and impunity that has left Uribe unscathed to date. If Uribe is proven to be involved by the committee, as an ex-president he would face an investigation by the country's Congress. Even if Uribe were to be found culpable in the hacking of Colombia's peace process, the prospects of justice being done seem slim. He would face an investigation by a Congress with a heavy presence from his own loyalists and in which links to drug trafficking and paramilitarism, which he himself has been tied to, endure 4 years after he relinquished power. Charles Parkinson, teleSUR in Bogota, Colombia.
French writer Patrick Modiano has won the 2014 Nobel Prize for Literature. Considered to be one of the most important European writers alive, Modiano's novels are known for being based in France during the period of Nazi occupation.